And there it is. There it is, guys. Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. It's been a while since I've had to react to such a poor Inter game. This might be the worst Inter game of the season. Inter 1, Genoa 1. Or the other way around. Genoa 1 versus Inter 1 at the Marassi Stadium. Very, very reminiscent of the game away at the Marassi Stadium 2 seasons ago under Inzaghi, where we drew 0-0. Genoa, shout out to them. Gilardino's Genoa made life difficult for us as we expected, and we talked about in the preview. Tough, battling, tackling, and set pieces. We were shaking on every single set piece. And to be honest, guys, 1-1 is probably the right result, but maybe Genoa probably did slightly more, because every single set piece that Genoa had, we were shaky as hell. Individually, this was probably Jan Sommer's worst game of the season. At fault for the goal conceded, and then was really shaking on all the set pieces. Handling was really poor today. Maybe Marcus Thuram's worst game of the season, completely, invisible almost at times. Maybe Hakan's worst game of the season, and then the wing backs completely useless. Matteo Darmian, as we always know, we love and cherish him, especially as a right centre back, but as a wing back, even now, especially when he's 32, 33, he's completely nothing. He offers nothing going forward. But even on the other side, Carlos Augusto did absolutely nothing as well. I was actually really disappointed in Augusto. I thought today's game a little bit gritty and hard, where you don't need to be as technically gifted as Di Marco is. He would have made a difference, but he was really poor as well. But not the best way to end the year. So this is the last game of the year for Inter. But whatever happens tomorrow with Juve Roma, I'm not expecting anything from Roma, but whatever happens, whether Juve win, lose, or draw, Inter will finish this year, 2023, as the leaders of the Serie A. It's not the halfway point yet. We've got one more game for the halfway point, which will be the Hellas Verona game. And then we can, we'll see if we can crown Inter officially the Scudetto or Winter Scudetto champions, which is, not a trophy, but it's a thing in Italy for some reason. Not a good way to end the year. It has been a good 2023 for Inter, let's not forget. Champions League final, trophies, and this great start to this season. But of course, the crowning jewel will be that second star, that Scudetto. Let's go through the screenshots of the game. Of course, no live stream today, but I will take you through the usual screenshots I always prepare for the post-match live reaction. Marassi, as I said, the crowd, the fan base, the ultras made it a really, really difficult game. The atmosphere was top-notch. One of the best stadium atmosphere, definitely. If I ever, travel away in Italy, this is one of the stadiums I would want to visit, especially if it's like Sampdoria versus Genoa. Is one of the craziest atmospheres in Italy. And they made it crazy, maybe a little bit too crazy, because at one moment, the match was suspended for around 10 minutes. I think it was 10 minutes. It was suspended for because there was so much smoke from the smoke bombs that the fans were releasing, and you could not see anything. So for safety reasons, I guess, and just for a good spectacle, the referee stopped the game on its occasion. I think that as well, not as an excuse for this poor performance, but that completely took out the rhythm of the game, the atmosphere, kind of between the players. Anyway, your legs go cold. Not that before that was a great match either, but that definitely affected us. And I think the goal, Dragusin goal. What minute did he even score that? 45 plus 7 minutes. The Dragusin goal came, so that was within all that delayed minutes that Inter had to play afterwards. So the fans, I guess, that really, really affected the game today, because that goal wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have been gone that far into the game if it wasn't for that stoppage. And it just made the atmosphere, made the game difficult in general. And in general, yeah, like set pieces or crosses, we were looking shaky. Acerbi today, maybe also one of Acerbi's, I don't want to say it's Acerbi's worst game, but maybe one of his worst this season, who's been, amazing this season. Acerbi for us, very consistent. But the rise injury of the last 2 or 3 weeks means no rest at all for Acerbi recently, and I think he deserves it and needs it more than deserves it because of his age, 35 years of age. There's some games where being played back to back, no rest, it will catch up to his body, and today he looked a little bit old. And Kaleb Ekuban, the striker that up front for Genoa, this guy gave Acerbi more trouble than Erling Haaland and Harry Kane and Robert Lewandowski. Like, this guy really caused a lot of headache today to Acerbi with his physicality, with his athleticism. He was roaming in and around him all game, and he was giving him a lot of trouble here. Acerbi heads it, and it almost looked like it was going to go in. I know Zoma's heart stopped at this moment here from this Strootman cross. And here's the goal from Arnautovic. We were suffering, but then we managed to claw it back. Finally, good to see Arnautovic scoring. And once again, he outperformed, regardless of the goal. Even if he didn't score again today, Arnautovic, I would have said he played a better game than Marcus Thuram, which he did. 71 minutes. He was given the man of the match here by Fotmo, but I don't think he was that good. But he was definitely positive even before the goal. Some nice touches. Good passing. There was one moment at the beginning he created a good chance for Mkhitaryan, which I think he should have done better. 4 chances created according to this. 24 touches. Even got stuck in the defensive side. Won 3 duels. 1-on-1 aerial. Good positive performance from Arnautovic, who continues to give good signs of life. And Thuram, got to keep an eye on it. I know there's lots of players in Serie A that have first for 5-6 months. I'm not saying he's going to do that, Thuram. Maybe he's missing Lautaro, and maybe he also needs a rest as well. But we gotta keep an eye on this, because that's his reputation. Even at Gladbach, last season he had an amazing start to his season, scored like 13 goals in the first half of the season, then went missing in the second half of the season. So I hope that is not going to happen again to Marcus Thuram. It's a different Marcus Thuram that we have now, different mentality. But it was not a good game today up front within Thuram and Arnautovic. I don't think they don't seem to have much of a connection. I mean, they haven't played much together, but they don't seem to have yet formed much of a footballing connection, the two. And the goal as well, I mean, it came from this, which I think it was a foul. The replays, they were checking this. VAR was checking this. Bisek pushing Strootman in the build-up to the goal. In my opinion, look at that, 2 hands. Yes, it was soft in the way that, Strootman falls and screams, a big 34, 35-year-old man doing that. But by the rules of the game, I mean, this is one of those fouls that if the referee saw it in real time, he probably would have whistled it, but he didn't see, and maybe VAR thought it was too soft to call afterwards. But in my opinion, we got away with it a little bit in this instance here. But, we also created enough in that first half to get a goal. And then here, this is the goal that Genoa scored in that added time. Augusto and Acerbi here, both poor on Dragusin. Dragusin, by the way, had a really big game. We talked about him in the pre-game. Physically, he's a monster. Won pretty much every single aerial duel. I think there was a stat that said that he has won the most aerial duels in Serie A this season. So shouts out to him. And great header, heads it into the ground, but poor save from Jan Sommer. There's not many angles that can show it properly, but this was a mistake from Jan Sommer. I think this is only his second mistake, this season. Jan Sommer, I think the only other one was it Sassuolo or Bologna, if I remember. But yeah, I'm not going to berate Sommer on this, but he had a really poor game today, Sommer. Maybe his worst since he's come to Inter. And here he should have done better, but, it is what it is. He's been great this season, 13 clean sheets. I'm not going to spend time here to berate Sommer, but today, not good enough. And yeah, here's another opportunity here where Sommer comes out, tries to claim a cross, punches it, but not very far. And then they have a shot on goal, or try to shoot on goal from here. Another dangerous situation just from Sommer's shakiness from crosses, which is, because of his size, he's not very tall. He struggles to command the box in these situations here. Arnautovic also had this opportunity here, kind of a half chance. There was 2 guys in front of him, so it would have been hard for him to score. He shoots it wide, but it was a nice little layup from Barella, and he shoots on goal. And then here, Hakan, free kick into Acerbi. This was probably the best chance of the second half. Acerbi, again, similar header to Dragusin in terms of he heads it down. But here, Martinez was reactive to this chance. And then here, once again, Sommer very shaky here. I mean, at the end of it, he gets a foul because he manages to claim it, but he drops the ball here. and then gets hit in the face from the I think it was Dragusin. So yeah, overall, really poor, shaky game. Not a great game at all to watch as well. Very poor game if you're a neutral watching this. Some high ratings there for midfield. I think Barella, out of the midfielders, Barella was the only one to save. Mkhitaryan was pretty bad today. I know that Frattesi, in the build-up to the game, Frattesi had the flu and he was out for the game, but I really don't understand Inzaghi throwing the Inzaghi today substitutions. Waited until the 71st minute to bring on Sanchez, and then brings on Frattesi and Dumfries in the 78th, and then Klaassen and Pavard in the 90th. Like, what is that? Like, this from, like, Gilardino was doing more to try to win the game because he brought on Retegui at the 60th, Malinovsky at the 60th, and Junior Messias, but he brought on Junior Messias for a wing back. So he brought on an attacking wing back for a defensive wing back. So to me, Gilardino looked like he tried to do more to win the game than Inzaghi. That this was a little bit of a throwback to Inzaghi, you know, in his first season and last season, where, you know, he was very frustrating with substitutions, especially in these types of situations, because Darmian wasn't doing anything for most of the game. And so I thought Pavard could have come on a bit earlier to try and be that more attacking wing back. Mkhitaryan was struggling the whole game. And, you know, Thuram and Arnautovic did nothing. But again, I guess, you know, in terms of without Lautaro up front, there's not much we can do because the Sanchez came on and did absolutely nothing. 4 passes, 9 touches, but yeah, just usual confusion and not much actual quality. And Frattesi came on, got a massive hit on his head, only completed 2 passes. And yeah, but they didn't have much time to do anything. So yeah, poor from Inzaghi today, poor all round from Inter. No one really to say. Man of the match, if I had to be really forced, I would actually probably give it to Bastoni. I liked his game today, up and down. Had a few nice crosses as well. Covered his channel well. Bisek was good on the ball as well. Completed lots of passes. Not sure why his rating is so low, but apart from that, only Barella to save from the midfielders, as I said. I think Hakan had a poor game. But we move forward. Hope you guys, let me know in the comments down below. What did you guys make of it? Did you agree with me that that was a foul by Bisek, or am I being exaggerating there? What would you have done instead of what Inzaghi did? Let me know in the comments down below. See you on the next one, and wishing you all a happy end of the year, and wishing you all a happy new year in the coming days. And of course, nothing changes on the channel. Keep a lookout. Hellas Verona next. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter, even on these days where Inter are woeful.